Hello everybody, Creeping Creeper 22 here. In today's video, I just wanted to talk about the new PTB from Dead by Daylight, the Stranger Things Chapter 2. Now, first I'm going to talk about Vecna. I'm going to focus on killers for this video, so keep that in mind when I'm talking. Vecna, I think he's almost perfect. I think Vecna's probably the best killer they've released in a very, very long time. I'll start off by saying this. Does he seem broken right now? Probably, but he does have a very, very simple counterplay, which I think tips the scales to be equal with him. So he's not overpowered. And what that weakness is literally just running. If you have a problem with Vecna, all you need to do is add an exhaustion perk. If you can't just like get distance easily, run an exhaustion perk and you'll be fine. I promise you. Now the changes I would do. Wait, let's talk about him a little bit, right? So his ability where he like shoots up the tentacles, I see that people think that is broken, but I'm gonna explain to you why I disagree. One, he cannot damage you instantly with it, right? He has to be in his like little like clock mode to damage you with it. So to me, if he could damage you with it like right off the bat, way too broken to be used in 3 seconds. But the fact that he has to hit people multiple times to then go into the clock, I'm just gonna call it the clock mode, I forget what it's called, to go into the clock mode, and then once he's in the clock mode, then he can damage you guys. That's fair to me. It's kind of like Freddy a little bit, in my opinion, where he's not instantly super strong, but he has to build up to get there. I think that that's fine. And also talking about changes that I would personally like, I think his little underground where like goes freaking into the, what is it called? The upside down. When he goes into the upside down, the only thing I would change is make it to where he pops up faster. I don't think you need to make it to where like his like circle expands faster. Don't do that. I think all you really need to do is give him a faster pop up, because I feel like people with that move are just going to use it for traversal, not really damaging. And you're not making it to where he can damage people more with it. You're simply making it to where he can get out of it faster. And I think that's fine, especially because of how slow he is naturally. That is his only move that can really use the traverse, and it's already damaging as it is because you have to go down and you can't move. Then you move fast, but then you have to come up before you can even do anything. Just make that time a little shorter, and I think he's going to be perfectly fine. Let me make sure his moves are fine. I love the voice lines. I love his abilities. He's definitely new, right? Because he has stuff from other killers, but they all still feel so fresh, if that makes sense, right? Like, he has the speed like Wraith, you know what I mean? Like, of course, Wraith rings the bell, but he goes underground. But he has that. He has a lot of little things that are from other killers, but they literally just add stuff to him to make him feel so new, and I'm super happy with that. So altogether, I think Vecna's fine. I think legitimately change nothing, just make his pop out time when he goes into the underground a little bit faster, and he's good. I literally think there's no changes needed. Now, as I said, if you're a survivor and you have trouble with him, realize he has one of the most simple counters ever, which is why he just isn't that strong, which is run. If you hold W and you learn to dodge his stuff, because realize, and I'm gonna tell you, if y'all watching, y'all want a little bit of tip, when you hear that little like ding noise when he's like trying to use his special attack, that doesn't mean that he's throwing it out. That means that he's like, it's gonna sound weird, but whipped it out, and then like he had the thing up to use his attack, but he hasn't used it yet. So it's fairly easy to dodge it. If you hear that and you start like zigzag, and then you make sure you're looking at the floor, it is fairly easy to dodge, in my opinion. And if you do have really trouble with him, just put it on an exhaustion perk and you'll literally be fine. I promise you. But now let's talk about his perks. Okay, so now talking about Vecna's perks, let's talk about turn back the clock first, which after hooking a survivor for 60 seconds, press an ability button to make a target generated within 20 meters explode, losing 10% progress and starting regression. Now, I'm gonna tell you this right now, this needs a buff. If you've used it, you know that you have to have line of sight of the generator. Take that away. Literally, just don't have that. I also think maybe make it a little more than 10%. Maybe 15% would be good. The only reason why I don't say something high like 20 to 25 is because it's every time you hook a survivor. So if you hook a survivor, you get it. You know what I mean? It's not like even no, because old Pain Residence was what, 20 to 25? We had to hook them on a specific hook. And will we say that if that equates to having to walk within 20 minutes of a generator, then maybe. But I think to keep it safe, I think maybe raise it to 15% of a generator. And make it to where you can do it through walls. You do that, and I think this perk is perfect. I think it really helps those low tier killers that have trouble traversing. I think if you, and especially if you change that wall thing where you can't do it through the wall, this perk will be really, really good. Now, Secret Project. When a totem is blessed or cleansed, block a random generator for 30 seconds, and when a generator is blocked, you become undetectable for 30 seconds. This might be my favorite perk, because when you play Survivor, and if you play Survivor, you know, you can do so many different builds. A lot of the perks on Survivor synergize with each other so well, and it is so satisfying when it's like, oh, because I had hyper focus, that played into stakeout, or I'm trying to think of another good one, vigil and any exhaustion perk. You know, they work together in tandem, or even an exhaustion perk with, what is it, Lightfoot, and the other one that that makes your scratch marks disappear faster. You have so many perks as a survivor that work together really, really well. And I feel like this honestly might be one of the first ones Killers got in, where you run a gen regression plus any perk that blocks generators, and you're just getting value from this. No matter what, you get unattackable for 30 seconds if a generator is blocked. You can mix this up with so many different builds, and it feels so nice to say that. I don't have to, as a Springtrap main, I don't have to run the same basic builds, because we finally have some perks that are different but still good. These are, like, in such a long time, I think these are good perks. We haven't had good perks in a long time as killers. So that one, like, if I had to rank them, right, turn back the clock, I'd probably give like a 6 right now. But if they do the changes that I said, probably turns like an 8. Secret Project, I think it's like a 7, 8 already. And then you have Hive Mind. The first time you hook a survivor, a dual totem becomes hexed. Generators are highlighted. The intensity of a generator's aura reveals the repair progress of that generator. And when there's only one generator left to complete, all generators will lose 10% progress. Now, this one is not too good in my opinion, but let me explain why. When you hook a survivor and activate this perk, it tells all the survivors that it's activated. And you only get one use of it. So you hook a survivor, it tells all the survivors, oh, this perk is now activated. He can now see all the generators' progress, and now they're just gonna look for that totem. What I think they need to change is either two things. There's two ways that they can go about this. Either you do not tell the survivors when it's activated, or you tell the survivors when it's activated, but I don't know how you would do it when it came to the hooking, but you can do it like every time you hook a different survivor, if the totem got destroyed, it'll come back. Or maybe like every third survivor, right? So let's say you hook a survivor, it's active. If you hooked, let's say someone destroyed the totem, once it's destroyed, when you hook, maybe even 2 survivors, when you hook your second survivor, from that time, it'll reactivate to another totem, and it'll let them know that it's reactivated. So imagine you hook a survivor, you get it, they destroy it, you hook, you get 2 more hook states, and on that second hook state, it'll reactivate. I think something like that would be good, where you can keep it going, where you can keep on reactivating it, since you're letting them know that it's active every time. I feel like that is a really, really good kind of back and forth with the survivors. It's like, oh, he's on a second hook, now he knows where the progress of the gen, now we have to find the totem. I feel like that could be a good back and forth, or just make it to where the survivors don't know that it's active, don't tell them when it's active. And I think that's also a really good not drawback, but that's just a really good way of doing it, because why are we letting the survivors know that this is active when it is really strong, because it's freaking free information on all gens? But still, you shouldn't let the survivors know when it's active. Let them find it, just like every other hex perk. Yeah, but overall, I think the perks are nice. I do think each one, no, Secret Project doesn't need tweaking in my opinion. but Turn Back the Clock does, and Hex Hive Mind does, but just a little bit. Hex Hive Mind I probably put at a 4. No, I put at a 5. I'll put at a 5 out of 10. And that's all I got for today's video. I will probably do a video a little bit later on about what I think Vecna will do for the game itself, and what I hope Vecna show the devs about the game. But that'll be for probably another video. And yeah, as always, if you liked, leave a like. If you dislike, leave a dislike. If anyone can improve my content, let me know down in the comment section below. And I'll see all you lovely people on the flip side. Peace out.
Inside lane, missing exits, glued to the pavement. Between the lines, I'll keep my gaze straight ahead as the last stop flies by.